Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My humble obeisances to all the devotees who assembled here. We'll begin with some prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnanathimiranthasya Gnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm very grateful and honored to be amongst all of you, the wonderful, enthusiastic devotees at ISKCON Wellington, with the leadership of His Grace Ambrish Maharaj Prabhu. Although he is very senior to me, still he's very kind and affectionate and very humble, sitting there. He requested me to speak on this topic, on Vaishnava relationships. There are so many secrets of bhakti, but of all the secrets, Prabhuji wanted me to reveal this secret first. Actually, this is not a secret. By the grace of Srila Prabhupada and many other Vaishnava Acharyas, and with the sanction of the Supreme Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, several secrets of bhakti have been revealed, published, printed, spoken, heard since decades and centuries. And especially the most empowered representative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, has revealed the secrets of bhakti in his books like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He gave us the tattva of bhakti. And also these great Vaishnavacharyas also revealed so many leelas in which pure devotees who are aware of the secrets of bhakti demonstrated that bhakti in their dealings with the Lord and with each other. If you go to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with descriptions of loving relationships amongst devotees. This is very recent. Bhagavatam, of course, the pastimes described in Bhagavatam happened thousands of years back, yugas back. But the pastimes described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadasa Kaviraj Goswami happened just 500 years back. We can connect with them more deeply and personally. So, especially the Antyalila of Chaitanya Charitamrita and several episodes in Madhya Leela are filled with descriptions of loving relationships and bondings amongst devotees. Apart from the philosophical secrets of bhakti, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and even Bhagavatam reveals the relationship secrets of bhakti also. Ultimately, all of us are here to develop our relationship with Krishna. We have a relationship with Krishna eternally. Sambandha. Understanding Bhakti Tattva begins with understanding the Sambandha Tattva. You know, the Shastras teach three things: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Sambandha means our relationship with Krishna. Abhideya means the process of reviving that relationship. That includes Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Prayojan means the result of following that process of bhakti, which is Krishna Prema, developing deep, loving bonding with Krishna. Right. So we all have an eternal sambandha with Krishna. We are all amshas of Krishna. We are all servants of Krishna. However, a conditioned soul is not consciously aware of or has forgotten one's eternal relationship with Krishna. The whole process of bhakti is to reinstate that conditioned soul back in the soul's original glory of being an eternal servant of Krishna, which is the default connection between us and Krishna. While developing that relationship with Krishna, or while re-establishing that relationship with Krishna, we need to also have cordial, loving, friendly relationships with the devotees of Krishna. Establishing relationship with Krishna is very difficult, and in fact it's impossible without sadhu sangha, without the association of devotees, without the association of a spiritual master who is very elevated and exalted Vaishnava. It's very difficult to revive our relationship with Krishna. Therefore, it's very, very important for us to understand the need for genuine Vaishnava relationships and friendships. Now, where is it mentioned? In Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam or in Chaitanya Charitamrita or any other Vaishnava scriptures, where is it emphasized that we have to develop, cultivate loving relationship with Krishna? We'll discuss now. Let's begin with the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Towards the end of the first canto of Bhagavatam, we see that Pariksit Maharaj, a pure Vaishnava king, he did a mistake. He went and garlanded a sage named Shamika Rishi with a dead snake. Why? Because the sage did not give him water when Pariksit was very tired and fatigued. So out of frustration, he just insulted that sage in that way, which was actually a mistake. But it's not a very, very serious mistake compared to the punishment that he has received. Because Pariksit Maharaj kept a dead snake around the neck of Shamik Rishi. Shamik Rishi's son Shringi became very furious and criticized Pariksit Maharaj and even cursed him to die within 7 days. Very, very severe punishment. Yes, it was a mistake, definitely. Not that because Pariksit Maharaj is a pure devotee, whatever he did was bona fide. Everything he did was bona fide except this one thing. That is keeping a dead snake around Shamik Rishi's neck. But why did he do so? Not out of habit, not out of malice, not out of envy. It's not that he has been accustomed to offend Brahmanas like King Vena. Pariksit Maharaj never disrespected a Brahmana before this incident, and he never disrespected a Brahmana after this incident. It happened only once in his lifetime. That means it's ordained. It's not deliberately committed mistake, as Prabhupada explains in the purport in the first canto, 18th chapter, somewhere in 44th or 45th purport. Prabhupada explains it's all will of the Lord. Not only in that purport, multiple purports in the first canto, 18th chapter. Prabhupada says it's all will of the Lord. Pariksit Maharaj's unexpected behavior in this episode is only by the will of the Lord, so that we all can receive Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyways, it's a long story. So Pariksit Maharaj has been cursed to die within 7 days. So Pariksit Maharaj gave up his kingdom. He established his son Janamejaya as the king immediately. Right? With immediate effect, he resigned from his post and he established someone else in the post. He went to the bank of Ganga and he sat there, just with an intention to hear Vishnu Katha, Krishna Katha, for the remaining 7 days of his life. So many sages have assembled there. These sages were not invited. There was no RSVP. Nobody had created a poster in Canva and posted in Instagram stories for them to come and assemble there and uh, and see off Pariksit Maharaj as he's going back to Godhead. No one has invited them. By the will of the Lord, by the arrangement of the Lord, all these great Brahmarshis and Rajarshis and Devarshis, Brahmarshi, Rajarshi, Devarshi, Sanghaihi, all of them have assembled on the bank of Ganga, and Pariksit Maharaj sat there. He was not even surprised. I never called the sages. Why did they come here? Did I invite them? How did they come to know? Sometimes we feel little embarrassed. We are in a post, big post. Suddenly we are removed from the post, right? And one or two people came to know about it. We feel very conscious and embarrassed. अरे आपको निकाल दिया क्या? Did someone remove you from the post? We feel little awkward, right? But when Parikshit Maharaj's post was removed, means he himself has given up that post. Uh, not only not only he had to give up the post of being the king of Hastinapur, he had to give up his life within one week. Not a small thing. And this news has gone viral. It did not remain a secret. It was not a confidential news. It's a big viral news. Thank God there was no social media in those days. If social media also was there, how much viral this news would have become, and how many purports people would have given to this. And Parikshit Maharaj's act of garlanding a sage with this dead snake, and on Shemik Rishi's son, Shringi's act of cursing him for 7 days. My God, you can only imagine how YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and I don't know what other things are there. How all these platforms would have been utilized to give long commentaries on this event, unprecedented event. But nothing happened. Nobody spoke even one word negative about this. Right? Everybody came on the bank of Ganga as if they're invited, and they sat there. And Parikshit Maharaj very cordially welcomed all of them, offered humble respects to all of them, and said, "My dear sages, I have absolutely no fear of the Takshaka bird or the snake that he has been created. The Shringi, the Brahmana boy, must have appointed some snake bird to come and kill me. I have no fear. All I want to do for the rest of my life, which is only 7 days, is Gayata Vishnu Gatha." Gayata Vishnu Gatha means you just sing the glories of Lord Hari. Okay, you're going to die in 7 days. You know what's going to happen after 7 days? There are multiple possibilities. When somebody dies, he may go to hell, he may go to heaven, he may go to Goloka, he may go to Vaikuntha, he may take another birth, he may take birth as an animal or a bird or a human being or a devata. These are multiple possibilities. But many spiritual seekers of all these possibilities, they want only one possibility, moksha. We want liberation. Out of the 4 purusharthas, dharmartha, kama, moksha, moksha is aspired for by many spiritual seekers. So, is Parikshit Maharaj aspiring for that moksha? He said, "No, I don't need liberation. You'll have to take birth." "Yeah, of course, no problem. I can take birth once again." But if I take birth once again, you know what I want? I have 3 desires. Right? I have 3 desires in my rebirth. पुनश्च भूयाद् भगवत्यनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गश्च तदाश्रयेषु महत्सु यां उपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्र्यस्तु सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः. Punascha bhuyat. If at all I have to take birth again, I need 3 things. Number 1, Bhagavatyanante ratihi. I need rati. Means I need love and affection and attraction for that Ananta Bhagavan, that unlimited Supreme Lord Krishna. Bhagavatyanante ratihi. Second desire, prasangasya tad ashrayeshu. Prasanga means sangatya, association of those who have taken shelter of that Lord, tadashrayesh. Third desire, Maitriyastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Maitri. I want friendly relationships with sarvatra, everybody, all living entities. He did not discriminate. Good people, bad people, kshatriyas, brahmanas. He did not differentiate between those who are practicing sadhana bhakti, those who are not practicing sadhana bhakti. No. He just said, Maitriyastu sarvatra. I just want loving relationships, friendly relationships. Maitri is friendship, specifically. Maitriyastu sarvatra. I want friendly relationships with all living entities. This was his desire. Pariksit Maharaja's desire. Can you just imagine? Here is a person who is going to die within 7 days. He has no fear of death. He has no fear of rebirth. Generally, people have these two fears. Those who are materialistic people, they are fearful of death. Those who are spiritual seekers, they are fearful of rebirth. Right? They want liberation. They don't want punarjanma. They want moksha. Right? So Parikshit Maharaj has absolutely no fear of rebirth or death. But if at all he has to take birth again, he wants association of devotees, he wants devotion to the Lord, and he wants friendly relations with all living entities. Out of these three prominent desires, one desire that we are going to discuss today is Maitri, Maitriyastu Sarvatra. We need to develop loving relationships with all living entities. All living entities. Why all living entities? Because all living entities are Krishna's parts and Krishna's servants, potentially. Krishna's amshas, Krishna's fragmental parts. Mama Yivamsho Jiva Loke. Everybody is an amsha of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hai Krishna Nitya Das. Every Jiva is a Das of Krishna. So we need loving relationships, friendly relations with all the Dasas, all the servants of Krishna. So it makes sense. But should we not differentiate or discriminate between people? You want friendly relations with everybody? What is this happening? Now let's discuss another story. In the Srimad Bhagavatam only, let's directly jump to 10th canto. From first canto to 10th canto. Not in your systematic study, but in this thematic discussion, we can jump. Right? So now we will just move around different cantos of Bhagavatam and we'll get into different shlokas of Bhagavad Gita and different episodes of Chaitanya Charitamrita, all with the theme of relationships, friendships with people. So in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna was once touring Mathura city. Then he met Sudama, a florist. Sudama, not the Sudama Brahmana who offered this flat rice to Krishna, but this is a Sudama florist who would offer garlands to Krishna. So the Sudama florist is very devoted. Although entire Mathura city came out of their homes to see Krishna, but this Sudama florist was staying at home making a garland for Krishna. Then when we are eager to serve Krishna in some way, Krishna becomes eager to receive that service. Krishna searches a devotee and comes to that devotee to receive that seva. That is Krishna's speciality. So Krishna asked the address of Sudama. There used to be a florist here in Mathura city. Can you please give me the GPS location of his home? So Krishna inquired from the citizens of Mathura and he went to Sudama florist's home. Sudama is very busy making his garlands. Krishna went and stood there. So as he's making garlands, he noticed somebody's feet. They're blue in color. Oh. He just lifted his head. He found a yellow dhoti. He lifted his head more. He saw the beautiful blossoming lotus-like, blue lotus-like face of Krishna with a smile, decorated with an enchanting smile. Then this Sudama florist became very, very ecstatic, and in ecstasy, he just wanted to fall flat at the lotus feet of Krishna, but there was no sufficient space between him and Krishna, and he offered half dandavats, not full dandavats. So he offered Panchanga Pranam. There is no possibility of Sashtanga Pranam. So he offered obeisances, and Krishna requested him, I want your garlands. Of course, I'm making for you only, Krishna. Please take these garlands. And he also gave garlands to all the friends of Krishna, also, not only Krishna. Our service to Krishna is not complete without serving the devotees of Krishna, right? So he offered garlands to all the devotees of Krishna, and Krishna became very pleased with his offering. He said, what do you want? Tell me, what do you want? I'm very pleased with your seva. I'm going to give you some special benedictions. Ask whatever you want. You know what Sudama said? Soapi vavrechalam bhaktim tasmin eva khilatmani tad bhakteshu cha sauhardam bhuteshu cha dayam param. He also had some desires. Pariksit Maharaj had three desires, right? You remember them? Now we'll see the desires of Sudama. Number one, Sopi vavre achalam bhaktim. Achalam bhakti means undeviated devotion unto Krishna. Achalam bhakti. Tasmin evakhilatmani. Oh Lord, you are the Paramatma within the hearts of all living entities. You are the caretaker of all living entities. I just want unflinching devotion unto you. That's my first desire. Okay, granted. Anything more? Tad bhakteshu cha sauhardam. I want friendship with your devotees. Sauharda means friendship. I want friendly relations with your devotees, right? Then what else? Third thing, bhuteshu cha dayam param. I want bhuta daya. Bhuta is not ghost here. Bhuta refers to living entities, common living entities. So bhuteshu cha dayam param means I want compassion. I want to exhibit some compassion and affection towards all the living entities. So three desires. Compare Pariksit three desires with Sudama's three desires. Both wanted devotion to Krishna. Great. Both wanted association of devotees. Both wanted connections with all living entities. But there is a slight difference. Here, Pariksit Maharaj said that I want association of devotees. But here, Sudama is saying, I want friendly relations with devotees. Tad bhakteshu cha sauhardam. I want sauharda with your bhakta. Right? Then Pariksit Maharaj said, I want friendly relations, maitri, friendly relations with all living entities. But here he's very specific. He said, daya. I want to show compassion on all living entities. Who is correct? If you have to repeat the prayers of one of these devotees, whose prayer will you repeat? Right? Parikshit's prayer or Sudama's prayer? Sudama, as far as devotion to Krishna is concerned, both wanted. Association or friendship of devotees, okay, that also you can make it common. But in terms of connections with common people, Parikshit wanted friendship and Sudama wanted to show compassion upon them. How to reconcile this? Answer is simple. In the heart of our hearts, as practicing devotees, we should aspire for genuine friendships with all living entities. But for all practical purposes, because all living entities are not devotees yet, potentially they are devotees, potentially they are pure devotees, but all of them are not yet practicing bhakti. Their consciousness is covered by different layers of ignorance and different layers of false ego. Therefore, it's preferable to have close friendships only with devotees and show compassion on those who are not yet devotees. Right? Aspiration is to have friendly relations with everyone because potentially everybody is a devotee, everybody is a part and parcel of Krishna. How can we not have friendship with one who is a child of God? Right? In that sense, Pariksit Maharaj's aspiration is ideal. But this Sudama's aspiration in terms of connections with common people is more practical. It's a little more specific. Yes, because they are not yet devotees, let me show compassion upon them. And what is the specific way of showing compassion? We can be compassionate on anyone by bringing them closer to Krishna. That's compassion. When somebody is hungry, you feed him food. When somebody doesn't have some proper clothes to wear, you offer them some clothes. That is compassion on a physical plane. Or somebody is little sad, some problem in life, you go and console them, pacify them, give them some emotional support. That is compassion on a mental platform, on the platform of mind. Feeding is compassion on physical platform. Then giving emotional support is compassion on the platform of mind. But when you bring them closer to Krishna, that is compassion on the soul. That compassion we need to have, right? So ultimately, our aspiration is to have friendly, loving dealings and relations with all living entities. We should not hate anybody. But at the same time, because some people are envious, they're covered with some ignorance, so we need to stay away from them. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, let's jump into Chaitanya Charitamrita now. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Vaishnava, Avaishnava Sangatyaga ei Asat Sangatyaga ei Vaishnavachar. Asat Sangatyaga. Give up the association of materialistic people. That is a part of Vaishnava etiquette. We need to stay away from people who are not practicing bhakti. Right? So, staying away means not that we should hate them. We should never have any hatred or negativity or grudge towards any living entity. But at the same time, because they are not in a proper consciousness, we need to maintain safe distance from them so that our consciousness will not get affected by them, by their consciousness. That's the only logic. Somebody got some COVID virus. So you love them, definitely. You have kindness, compassion upon them, but you may not go and hug them without a mask, right? Even with mask also, you have to stay away from them. So that's practical. However, as much as possible, we should show compassion on them. Those who are not practicing bhakti become objects of compassion, and we need to show compassion on them by trying to bring them closer to bhakti. And while doing so, we should not lose our bhakti. Sometimes, in the name of preaching, we may compromise on our own devotion. In the name of showing compassion on common people, we may lose our own devotion. For example, Bharat Maharaj, he was very, very compassionate to the deer. It's wonderful quality. But his compassion was more on a physical platform, and it became very emotional connection. And his spiritual practice was sidelined. That's the problem, right? Showing compassion on other living entities is not a problem. But on what level are you compassionately connecting with them? On a physical plane, or on a mental plane, or on a spiritual plane? And even if you try to give them Krishna consciousness, and if your compassion is spiritual in nature, still, if you compromise on your own spiritual life, your compassion upon them is not sustainable. When our connection with Krishna is strong, we can connect anyone to Krishna. But when our connection with Krishna is weak, whom will you connect? You are trying to connect to somebody, to whom? To whom your connection itself is weak. So, our Narada Muni speaks to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Very beautiful point. In the first canto, 13th chapter. Again, we came back to Bhagavatam. First canto, 13th chapter, Narada Muni is giving some counseling session to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He says, Kala karma gunadhino deho yam pancha bhautikah katham anyastu gopaye sarpa grasto yatha param. Every living entity is under the adhina, under the control of kala, karma, guna. Kala is time. Karma is fruitive baggage. Guna means the three material modes, sattva, rajas, tamo, gunas. Dehoyam pancha bhautika. They are entrapped in this body, which is made of pancha bhautika, five material elements. Katham anyastu gopayat. When the conditioned soul himself is under the subjugation of this kala, karma, guna, etc., sarpagrasta, as if he is being swallowed by the python of this kala, karma, guna, how can he extend a helping hand to someone? Now this man is being sucked into this python's body. Already half leg is gone. Then he is going into the waist level also. Then he extends a helping hand. Come, I'll help you. I'll serve you. Come, come, come. Catch my hand, catch my hand. Both of them will go into python's body, right? So only when our connection with Krishna is strong, we'll be able to connect anyone to Krishna, right? That is compassion. That compassion is valid compassion. So our Sudama Brahmana, Sudama florist, he says that Bhuteshu is dayam param. Let me show some compassion on all the living entities. So ultimately, we want friendly relations with them, but considering the current state of consciousness, our connection with them is more on a compassionate platform, not on a friendly platform yet. Now, if you see Rupa Goswami in the Upadeshamrita, we came to another scripture now. In the Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami says how to develop friendly relations with devotees. Now it's clear we need to have friendly relations with devotees, not those who are not yet practicing bhakti. Towards them, you should have compassion. That's all. And that compassion also should be exhibited by maintaining your connection with Krishna. And that compassion should be on a spiritual platform. And your compassion on the body and mind also should be in line with or subordinate to your spiritual compassion. Is it clear? So that is clear. Our connection with those who are not practicing bhakti is clear. Our friendship with them is clear. Now let's come to the context of relationship with devotees. Amongst the devotees, how should be our relation? Rupa Goswami says, Shadvidham Priti Lakshanam Dadati Pratigrihnati Guhyamakhyaati Pritchati Bhunte Bhojayate Chaiva Shadvidham Priti Lakshanam Dadati Pratigrihnati, offer gifts, accept gifts. Guhyamakhyaati Pritchati, reveal your heart in confidence. And when they are revealing their heart, patiently hear them, empathize with them, sympathize with them, give them some support. Right? Great. And bhungte bhojayate jaiva, feed them prasadam. When they're feeding prasadam, you accept prasadam. So these are nice ways of developing friendly relations with the devotees. Rupa Goswami also gives a caution. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives a caution that these six loving exchanges must be between devotees, not with those who are not practicing bhakti. See, with whomever we have these six loving exchanges, an emotional bonding is created with them. No doubt. We'll become emotionally bound with them. You offer a gift to someone and they will offer a gift back to you. Some emotional knot is created, right? That relationship is getting stronger. And you feed them prasadam and they will feed something to you. Again, another knot is formed. You share your heart with them, they will share their heart with you. Relation is getting stronger. So these are like six ways of making your relations very strong, making your friendships very strong, right? But if we do these six loving exchanges with those who are not practicing bhakti, this knot becomes a material knot. But if we do the same six loving exchanges with those who are practicing bhakti, this knot becomes a spiritual knot. We need to be bound by spiritual knots, not material knots. Very important point. Acharyas give us a very, very important caution note. Don't develop deep relation and deep friendship with those who are not practicing bhakti. We lose your bhakti. We will lose our bhakti. But when we have deep, loving bondings with devotees, they are also aspiring for Krishna Prema. We are also aspiring for Krishna Prema. They are also chanting the same Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You are also chanting the same Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They are reading the same books, Gita Bhagavatam. You are also reading the same books, Gita Bhagavatam, primary Vaishnava scriptures. Right? So they are in the same Vaishnava Sampradaya. You are also in the same Vaishnava Sampradaya. So with them, like-minded devotees, where your lifestyle matches, your aspiration matches, your reference pramana matches, your worshipable deity match. So all things are matching. So with them, when you have deep, loving relationships and friendships, that will enhance our bhakti. That will be very favorable to our bhakti, isn't it? So this is required. Now, while practicing bhakti, sometimes this emotional bonding, even with devotees also, could lead to material emotions, right? Why? That is because of not keeping Krishna in the center. If we keep Krishna in the center, Krishna katha in the center, if we increase the Krishna element in our interactions with each other, then the relationship will remain spiritual. It will not become material, right? So now, what about family members? Most of the people who are practicing bhakti in this planet, or even beyond this planet, or in this universe, or in multiple universes, they are all family members. Very rarely you'll find a monk. You'll find a brahmachari, you'll find a sannyasi, isn't it? In Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Maharshi is one brahmachari. Four Kumaras are four brahmacharis. And I can't recollect others. There may be Markandeya Rishi, and then four people are there. Hardly you'll find a handful or maybe a single digit number. But you start counting Grahastha Vaishnavas. How many of them? Ambarish Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, all the Pandavas, Pariksit Maharaj, then Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, all these are married family men, right? Kunti Mata, Draupadi Mata, Uttara Mata, Nanda Maharaj, all the Gopas and Gopis of Vrindavan. Who is a brahmachari amongst the Gopas and Gopis? Right? Who is a brahmachari moving around in Dwarka or Mathura city or Hastinapur city? Narada moves everywhere, but generally speaking, 99.9% are Grihastha Vaishnavas. Right? Now, family bonds and family relations, are they obstructions in our bhakti? Let's speak from the perspective of Kunti Maharani's prayer. Kunti Maharani, in her prayers to Krishna in the first canto, 8th chapter of Bhagavatam, she says, Krishna, you're going back to Dwarka now. Means you're leaving us, leaving my sons. Yeah, Hastinapur, Hastinapur has come back under your rule. You won the war of Kurukshetra. Why should I stay with you? Already your sons are very well equipped. Yeah, they're capable. They're kings now. So I'm going. Hare Krishna. So Krishna is giving farewell to, or Krishna is asking for farewell from Kunti Maharani and all the Pandavas, and he was about to leave. He even boarded the chariot also. But Kunti Maharani says, no, 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 you cannot leave. The Pandavas are there now. Why are you worrying so much? She says, my dear Krishna, without you, my sons are like bodily senses without soul. The body is very strong. Body has hands and legs and eyes and nose. Everything is there, but soul is not there. The body is useless. Similarly, my sons, my 5 Pandavas, are like senses without a soul if you are not with them. Therefore, stay back. Please, if you go there, if you go back to Dwarka, who will protect my sons? Please stay back. Then, as she was praying for her sons, she got a thought. I am praying for my sons so much. What about my parents? What about my parental family? Vrishnis. I'm praying for Pandu's family, but what about Vrishni's family? Because she is connected to both families. She was born and brought up amongst the Vrishnis, and she married Pandus, and she became a part of Kuru dynasty. And she is praying for Pandavas, and then she thought, oh, Krishna's association, even Dwarkavasis also should get. Then she got a third thought. First thought is about welfare of Pandavas. Second thought is welfare of Vrishnis. Third thought is, why am I getting caught up in this family relations and family bondings? Why am I praying for my husband's family or my parents' family? I should not be praying like that. Then she folded her hands and said, Atha Vishvesha Vishvatman Vishwamurte Swakeshu me Sneha Pasha Vimam Chindi Dradham Pandushu Vrishnishu. He can also recite once. Atha Vishvesha Vishvatman Vishwamurte Swakeshu me Sneha Pasha Vimam Chindi Dradham Pandushu Vrishnishu. The meaning of this shloka is, O Vishvesha, O Vishwatman, O Lord of the entire universe, O Master of the entire universe, I have a strong passion. Sneha passion means I have a very strong bond of affection. Towards whom? Towards my own Pandus and Vrishnis. Sneha passion mimam chindi dridham pandushu Vrishnishu. Dridha means very, very strong bond I have towards Pandavas and Vrishnis. Chindi, cut it, cut that knot. These family relationships are coming between me and you. I don't want this. You want me to cut? Yes, you cut these family relations. so that my mind just flows towards you. She said next, Tvayi me ananya vishaya matir madhupate sakrit ratim udvahata dadha gange vogham udanvati Tvayi me ananya vishaya. Let my mind not think of anything else. Matir madhupate sakrit. Let my mati go towards madhupati. Madhupati is Krishna. Mati is our mind, our heart. So let my heart's emotions and feelings completely flow towards Krishna, just like Yatha Gangam Bhasambhutav. Just like Ganga flows towards the ocean, although Ganga's flow is obstructed by so many mountains and hills and villages and cities and trees and many other obstacles, somehow or the other, Ganga makes her way towards the ocean. Similarly, let my mind also to be always flowing towards Krishna. Let me not think about this Pandavas, Vrishnis, my husband's family, my parents' family. Please cut this. That is her prayer. She considered that family relations are a great obstacle in her bhakti, in her connection with Krishna, in her relation with Krishna. Is it correct? No, not at all. Don't get scared, please. Right? Therefore, we need to read purports along with the shlokas. You read the purport, Prabhupada's purport you read. You read Vishnu Thakur's purport. Acharyas very beautifully explain that Mother Kunti had two kinds of relationships with Pandavas and Vrishnis. One is the skin relation, second is the soul relation. One is a family relation, second is a spiritual relation. Yes, there's a blood relation. Yes, she is born in the Vrishni dynasty and she's married to this Kuru dynasty and she had a motherly affection towards the Pandavas. Yes, that is like one material aspect or external aspect of the relationship. She wanted Krishna to cut that. But there's a spiritual relation. These Vrishnis and Pandavas both are great devotees of Krishna. They had so much of love and affection for Krishna. Kunti Maharani says, please preserve that relation. Let me love my family members not because they are my family members, not because I have a biological connection with them, not because I have a skin relation, a blood relation with them, but because they are your devotees. Let me love them because they love you. Whoever loves Krishna becomes our family member. That is called spiritual family, not material family. Right? Yes. One's blood relations, one's own family members are our immediate relations. We will have immediate relationship and friendship with them. We'll think more about them naturally, right? But if they happen to be devotees, we are very, very fortunate. And thinking about them will bring us closer to Krishna. Serving them becomes Vaishnava Seva. Being with them becomes Vaishnava Sangha. Thus, a devotee need not and should not break one's family relationships as long as the relationships are favorable towards bhakti and one can see them as Vaishnavas. One can see whatever one is doing towards them as Vaishnava Seva. Kunti Maharani is praying to Krishna, Krishna, let me love my family members not because I have a blood relation with them, but because they are souls and they are your servants, they are your devotees. Let me, in short, Kunti Maharani's prayer is, let me see them on a spiritual plane, not on a material plane. When we learn to see everybody on a spiritual plane, our relationship with anybody becomes spiritual. Just as Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, 18th chapter. Very beautiful. 18th shloka. He said, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne
विनय संपन्ने
Brahmane Gavihastini
ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि
Shunichaiva Svapake cha
सुनिचैव स्वभागे च
Panditaha Samadarshinaha
पंडितः समदर्शिनः
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. One who has Vidya, good education, knowledge, should also have humility. And what is the product of that humility and knowledge? A spiritual vision. Brahmane Gavi Hastini. Brahmana, Gavi means cow, Hastini means elephant, Shunichaiva means this dog, Swapakecha means dog eater. These five are in five different categories. But a Pandita, Samadarshana, he will see all of them equally. Why? All of them are souls. All of them have Paramatma in their hearts. All of them are children of God. So he is seeing them from a spiritual vision, not material vision. A spiritually elevated personality feels that entire world is his home and everybody is his family member. But one who is not spiritually mature, they think that their family is their world. Right? For someone who is not spiritually evolved, for them their own little materialistic family is their world, but here world is their family on a spiritual plane, right? Of course, even one who is on a spiritual plane also may primarily serve the family members, seeing them as devotees, and that is Vaishnava Seva. Even in a big temple or a spiritual organization, there are multiple sevas going on. Everybody has a sense of belonging to every seva, but one individual primarily takes care of one seva. That is the primary connection. In that sense, a devotee loves everybody. All living entities are servants of Krishna, but primarily concerned about or primarily connecting with their immediate family members who are Vaishnavas and doing Vaishnava Seva. That's very favorable to Bhakti, right? So sometimes people think that to advance in Bhakti, we need to give up family relations. No need. To advance in Bhakti, we need to see everybody as a servant of Krishna, everybody as a soul. We need to have that spiritual vision. And with that spiritual vision, when we associate with people on a spiritual plane, and that association, that friendship, that relationship is not a obstacle for our spiritual connection with Krishna. That becomes favorable for our spiritual connection with Krishna. Thus, maintaining good, loving, cordial relationships and friendships with other devotees is mandatory for our bhakti. To develop connection with Krishna, we should not and we need not give up any connection with anyone, especially devotees. The family members happen to be chanting Hare Krishna, that's amazing. Even if they're not chanting Hare Krishna, you can make them chant Hare Krishna as much as humanly possible, or at least understand that, oh, Krishna has put me in this situation where I am in this family. Okay, let them see them as spirit soul. Let them be kind and affectionate towards them. And eventually, your kindness, your good character, your loving dealings will bring a transformation in them and they will come closer to Krishna. That's how we spiritualize even material relationships. But when we envy other devotees, when we deal with them in inappropriate manners, then we are materializing spiritual relations. Either we can spiritualize matter or materialize spirit. Right? When we approach other living entities with a spiritual vision, even if they are not practicing bhakti, we are trying to spiritualize that relation, that interaction. But when we inappropriately behave with advanced spiritualists also, then we are materializing the spiritual relation, spiritual interaction. It all depends on our consciousness, right? So Kunti Maharani wanted the association of devotees. Let me not look at them with a material vision that they are my family members. Let me look at them with a spiritual vision that they are your devotees. That's what her prayer is. She never wanted to break relation with anyone. Although she's saying literally, Sneha Pashamimam Chindi Dradham Pandushu Vrishnisu. Literal meaning is, please cut my affectionate relationships with Pandavas and Vrishnis. That's what she said, literally. But the intended meaning is, please cut the material aspect of my relation. Please preserve the spiritual aspect of our relation. Let me connect with them on a spiritual plane, not on a material plane. Let me love them and serve them because they are your devotees, not just because I have a blood relation with them. That's how we need to spiritualize our relations. And to conclude, what's the time now?
7:30.
Yeah. So to conclude, so towards the end of our discussion, if you want to spiritualize your relationships, your friendships, you know what is the best secret of friendships, devotee friendships? The secret of Spiritual friendships, right? So far, we discussed the need of spiritual friendships, need to have loving relations with devotees. But now let's try to discuss the process of making the relationship spiritual. One is vision, right? Intellectual understanding, philosophical understanding. That is correct. Fine. All of us now have spiritual understanding, philosophical understanding. Everybody is a soul, potentially everybody is a pure devotee. I need to see them as devotees, and I need to see them as souls. I need to see them as servants of Krishna. I should not hate them. Theoretically, it makes sense. But practically, how do we come to this consciousness? In the class, it makes sense. After the class, because in the class, all the 100 people are sitting and hearing only. All of us are on the same page. But when the page turns, right, our relationship will take another turn. Right? Now, how to spiritualize a relationship or how to preserve the spiritual nature of relationships. Let's go to Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's very clearly mentioned. Macchitta madgata prana
Achita madgata prana udayanta parasparam kathayantascha ma nityam tushanti cha ramanti cha.
Krishna says, Macchitta madgata prana. Devotees are those people whose chitta is dedicated to me, who are always thinking of me. Madgata prana, they have given their prana lives to me. Just like you take a fish out of water and keep it on the bank and offer a nice sofa, nice seat, put an AC, or if the atmosphere is cold, then put heater, right? Give some pizza or idli dosa vada that you have made today, and maybe offer some gold, silver, diamonds, rubies, sapphires. Give them this Samsung phone or iPhone, whatever gadgets. Put some TV, a big screen, and show them. Will the fish be happy? Even if you give a blank check to the fish, you put any amount there, any number of dollars there, no problem. Fish will not be happy. Just give me water. Put me back in water. That's what a devotee feels. Any amount of material happiness, material pleasures, power, position, influence, followers on the Instagram, 10 million followers, 30 million followers, 1 billion views. All this do not ultimately satisfy the soul. The soul finds deep satisfaction only in one's connection with Krishna, one's relationship with Krishna. And that relationship with Krishna is re-established only in the association of devotees. Bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya. Bhakti is born in the association of bhaktas. Our devotion to Krishna takes birth in the association of devotees of Krishna. That's what Krishna is saying. Macchitta madgata prana. Devotees are those people who have dedicated their lives to me. And what inspires us to dedicate our lives to Krishna? Madgata prana. Second line. Bodhayantaha parasparam. Bodhayantaha parasparam means we need to enlighten each other about Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, lila. You read one shloka from Bhagavatam and you share with this devotee. And this devotee reads another shloka from Gita, he'll share it with you. Thus, our conversations, if they are Krishna-centric conversations, if you are discussing about Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, lila, seva, then the relationship becomes spiritual. Whether it is with family members or friends, or devotees in the congregation, or even a new person also, right? If they're willing to hear. Bodhayantaha parasparam is the way to spiritualize our relationships. Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Kathayantascha mam nityam. Okay, bodhayantaha parasparam is not once in a year you have a seminar. That is not bodhayanta parasparam. Kathayantascha mam nityam. Nitya means every day. Every day there should be Krishna katha, not necessarily with a mic or with a camera in front, with a sound system, with 100 people or 200 people sitting here like this. Not necessarily. That should happen. Let it continue. Not an issue. But if we bring in the culture of discussing about Krishna, even in our personal, private conversations, casual conversations, that's where we are spiritualizing our relationships. But if we restrict Krishna Katha only to Vyasasan, 1 hour class, and remaining 23 hours, no Krishna Katha. No need. ये क्लास सुन, 1 घंटा क्लास सुन लिया ना, और क्या चाहिए? और कितना सुनेगा? ज्यादा मत सुनो, ज्यादा मत बोलो. Krishna Katha should be the constant engagement of a devotee. And an intermittent engagement is other things. Right? What's happening in Vrindavan? This is what is happening. Bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantasya mam nityam. Two gopis come together and discuss about what? Krishna only. They don't discuss about any other subject matter. Oh, Krishna came to my home. He pinched my baby. Oh, really? So naughty. Krishna came to my home. He broke my pot. I have kept my pots hanging from the ceiling, but still this little boy, Krishna, came and then took a stone and then made a hole without making any noise. Very expertly made a hole, and then like tap water, all the milk is coming and he just drank. And the gopi says, he drank, that's fine. In my home, he fed that milk and butter to the monkeys. And another gopi comes and says, at least he fed the monkeys. In my home, when he fed butter to the monkeys were so full that they were not eating. You know what he said? Your butter is so third class that even monkeys don't eat it. Another gopi comes and says, I have hidden my butter pots in a dark room, and this little boy Krishna came and he illuminated the entire room with the brilliance of his jewels, and he has stolen butter. Another gopi comes and says, I have kept some special butter, special milk for my husband, but Krishna came and stole. But inside the heart, they love Krishna more than their husbands, more than their children, more than every family member that they have. And they're actually keeping all these items only for Krishna to come and steal. Another gopi becomes, Krishna did not come to my home. He came to your home and stole. He did not come. I'm waiting for him. This is what is happening in Vrindavan constantly. A casual conversation in Vrindavan is completely about Krishna. Even gossip in Vrindavan is Krishna Katha. Gossip. In 2025, gossip in the private conversations of people, or even chats of people, or even social media, the gossip is of very toxic flavor many times. Imagination, unnecessary imagination, speculation, spreading rumors. But in Vrindavan, even gossip is Harikatha, pure Krishna Katha. That's how we spiritualize our relationships. Constant discussion about Krishna. This is what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavatam, it's mentioned in the 11th canto. Parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavadyashaha mithoratihi mitha tushtir nivrittir mitha atmanaha. Paraspara anukathanam. Devotees are those people who come together and discuss about Krishna amongst themselves. Pavanam bhagavadyashaha. That will completely make us pavanam, purify us. Because it is bhagavadyashaha, the glory of the Supreme Lord. When we discuss the glories of the Lord, that will make us pavanam, that will completely purify us. Mitho ratihi. And that discussions about Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela with other devotees will increase our rati for him, will increase our attraction for him. Mithaha tushtir, our satisfaction will increase. Nivrittir mitha atmanaha. Right. And that will bring in some detachment from matter. Many times we find it very difficult to discuss Krishna Katha because there are so many material attachments. But to come out of the material attachments, we have to discuss Krishna Katha. As simple as that. Prabhu, I have this attachment, that attachment, I'm unable to hear only. Yeah, you have to hear to come out of it. I'm unable to hear because I have so many responsibilities, this and that. Like if somebody says, doctor gives him a medicine, I have so and so disease, and the doctor gave him medicine. And next time the doctor asked him, did you take medicine? No. Why? I'm very sick. I'm not taking medicine because I'm so sick. I'm very, very sick and weak. So because I'm unable, because of which I'm unable to take medicine. Does it make any sense? If somebody says that I'm not taking medicine because I'm sick, it makes no sense. Similarly, if we say I'm not chanting, I'm not hearing because I'm materially caught up. To come out of it, you have to chant, you have to hear, you have to discuss with other devotees. Somebody says, Prabhu, उसके साथ जमना है रे मुझे. I can't get along with this fellow. This devotee is troubling me. This devotee is doing this to me. This devotee is criticizing me. He's defaming me. Why? Because you both are not sitting together and discussing Krishna Katha. When we're discussing Krishna's glories, then there is no difference of opinion as such, unless we are grannies and scholars and we have so many grammatical perspectives where there are differences of opinion. General Krishna Katha, there is no difference of opinion as such. Any grammarians and scholars and philosophers here? Those who understand so much tika and write verse meters, and then you have some conflict about understanding, breaking the syllable here and there. No, nothing, right? Anyone here? Such souls are very rare. All glories. Such souls are very, very rare. Earlier, there used to be so many scholars and gnanis. They used to have problem, philosophical differences of opinion. Unless you establish another scholar to be wrong, you cannot establish yourself as scholar, right? What is it? Nasa Rishiryasya matam na bhinnam. Unless you disagree and prove that the other person is wrong, you cannot establish yourself as scholar. But in Kali, as Kali progresses, as people are very less. Therefore, chanting holy name is the only way for us, right? So now also there are so many scholars. They're Vaishnava scholars. They're only using their scholarship and grammatical and philosophical abilities only to understand and analyze Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, to relish it, to come closer to Krishna. That's glorious. But some people, by doing too much of grammatical, linguistic, philosophical, intellectual, speculative analysis, they go away. So unless that flavor is there, however, when we come together and discuss Krishna Katha, there is no difference of opinion. So when you have so many differences of opinion about some activity, come together to do some activity where you agree with each other. That is Krishna Katha. Only Krishna Katha brings us closer, our hearts closer to each other. Say, I have some bitter feelings towards another Vaishnava, or that Vaishnava has some bitter feelings towards me. How to get out of this? Let's hear Krishna Katha from each other. So when this devotee is speaking Krishna Katha, and when I'm hearing from him or her, then we understand how much this devotee loves Krishna when they're glorifying Krishna. Then we start appreciating that person. So far, we have some negative feelings towards that towards that devotee. But when the devotee is speaking Krishna Katha and when we are hearing attentively their glorification of Krishna, we understand how much they love Krishna. Then we develop proper appreciation for them. And that appreciation is spiritual appreciation. Because we are appreciating them not for their skill, not for their talent, not for their material beauty or influence, etc. You are appreciating them for their connection with Krishna, their love for Krishna. That is spiritual appreciation. When we hear other devotees speak Harikatha, we develop our spiritual appreciation for them. And when they speaking Krishna Katha, then and when we mutually appreciate each other for spiritual reasons, not for material reasons, that will bring us closer to each other. That will increase our Vaishnava relationships. You want an example? Let's go to the first canto of Bhagavatam. 7th chapter. 10th shloka. What is 1.7.10? Very popular shloka. Those who are done Bhakti Vaibhav are. Okay, you know Atma Rama verse? Atma Ramascha Bunayo Nirgrantha Apyurukrami Kurvantya Haitu Kim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Harihi. Right? This is a shloka about Sukadeva Goswami. Sutta Goswami is glorifying Sukadeva Goswami. He says that whether it is Atma Rama or Nirgrantha or Muni or whoever they may be, Krishna's qualities are so attractive that one who hears Krishna's qualities will automatically perform devotional service. Kurvanti ahaitu kim bhaktim ittam bhuta guno harihi. Lord Hari's gunas, qualities are so deep, so attractive that just by hearing little description of Lord Hari's qualities, kurvanti ahaitu kim bhaktim, people will be attracted to perform devotional service. Clear. So Sukadeva Goswami, although he was attached to some kind of impersonal understanding at one point of his life, one little phase of his life, after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which is pure description of Krishna's qualities, Sukadeva Goswami became a pure devotee. That's what Sukadeva Goswami says. Because the Naimisharanya sages asked him, Sukadeva Goswami is a self-realized soul. Why did he take the trouble of sitting in Vyasadev's Bhagavatam class and hearing Bhagavatam so long, for such a long time? Answer is this. Krishna's qualities are so great that even Atmaramas and Munis also will get attracted to Krishna Bhakti when they hear about Krishna's qualities. Okay. But this is not what I wanted to quote today. I wanted to quote the next sloka in our current context. Our current context is relationships. Let's talk about relationships. The next shloka after Atmarama shloka says, Harer Gunakshiptamatihi Bhagavan Badarayani
Bhagavan Badarayani
Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam
Madhajnanam
Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha
Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha
Harer Guna Akshiptamatihi means Lord Hari's qualities have completely captivated the mind, Mati, of Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami's mind is completely captivated by Lord Hari's qualities. Harer Guna Akshiptamatihi Bhagavan Badarayani. How did this happen? Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam. He did Adhyayan. Of what? Mahadakhyanam, that great narration of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because he studied sincerely Srimad Bhagavatam, his mind became completely caught up in the descriptions of Lord Hari's qualities. Harer Guna Akshiptamatihi, because he did Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam. And what is the result of this? What is the result of developing attraction towards Lord Hari's qualities by studying Bhagavatam? Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha. Sukadeva Goswami became very, very dear to all Vishnu Janas. Vishnu Janas means devotees. Sukadeva Goswami became very dear to devotees, or devotees became very dear to Sukadeva Goswami because Sukadeva Goswami developed attraction towards Krishna's qualities by studying Bhagavatam. Therefore, if we hear or study Srimad Bhagavatam, then we'll develop attraction towards Krishna. Then we will naturally love all the devotees of Krishna. If we hear Bhagavatam, if we discuss Bhagavatam, if we study Bhagavatam, tatsranvan supathan vicharana paro bhaktya. If we do Sravanam or Kirtanam or Pathanam of Srimad Bhagavatam with the devotees and the association of devotees, then our Vaishnava friendships will be very, very thick and cordial and loving and caring. Otherwise, till then, there is some friction. Right? Sparks, some spark. Like you have the Diwali crackers, right? Some sparks. If there's sparks, it's okay. But the sparks become fire, forest fire. After all, some sparks have to be there, some friction. How long a Diwali cracker will produce light? 1 minute, half minute, few seconds. I don't know, I forgot what is it. There is a sparkler. Sparkler. They just do like this. Kids play like this. No? In our childhood also we played. Last 20 years I never touched it. Sparkler. It just produces some sparks. Like that. But in just 10 seconds or 20 seconds, it's gone. So such sparks are common. Like it's okay. But sometimes sparks become fire. Big fire. Forest fire. Right? So let that not happen. Even sparks also we should avoid. But to avoid any conflicts as much as humanly possible. See, disagreeing is not a problem. Let there be disagreements, no problem, because everybody has a uh, unique way of thinking, working. So thus differences of opinion are common, disagreements are common, but disagreement should not lead to disrespect. That's the point. We should not get into disrespecting other Vaishnavas. Disagreements are fine. You can disagree. You have your own thought process, they have their own thought process, you have your own preference, they have their own preference. Fine, no two individuals are equal to each other. They cannot equally think, right? But point here is that when we come together to discuss Krishna Katha, discuss Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela sincerely, then that will bring our hearts closer. So by absorbing our mind in Lord Hari's Nama Rupa Guna Leela, we are coming closer to Krishna like this. We are here, we need to go to Krishna. We are going like this. But by discussing Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela with other devotees, we are coming closer to each other also. Thus, our movement is not like this or like this. It's like this. Right? We come closer to each other while going closer to Krishna. Right? Some people are their gnanis. They want to go like this, right? Individually. And there are some karmis, right? They don't want any connection with the Lord. They want friendship or sense gratificatory friendship. For the purpose of sense gratification, they want to come closer to each other like this. Their movement is horizontal and Gnani's movement is vertical. But ours is both, right? So we need to come closer to each other by discussing Krishna Katha. While doing so, we are going closer to Krishna together. That's what is expected in mature Vaishnava circles. For that, Adhyagan Mahadakhyanam Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha. If you want to become Vishnu Janapriya, you want to become very dear to Krishna's devotees, Vishnu's devotees, or if devotees have to become dear to you, coming together and discussing Bhagavatam is the only way. Let's chant together. Let's hear together. Let's discuss and meditate on Krishna together. That will keep us together. When that is not there, even a slight difference of opinion or small argument or some little clash can increase so much distance between two Vaishnavas that they will never come together again. That will break Krishna's heart. You can maintain respectful distance from others when there is an incompatibility in working styles, but never disrespect them, never hate them, never quarrel with them, right? If working styles are not matching, fine. Let them do this service, you do that service. Maintain a respectful relationship by keeping distance. Because some people have kapha prakriti, some people have vata prakriti. Some are fast, some are slow. Some prefer to do some service, some prefer to do another service. That's fine, no problem. That's variety. That's variegatedness. But to conclude our discussion on spiritual friendships, I would say, when we come together to discuss Krishna Katha, that will increase our spiritual bondings, spiritual relationships, spiritual friendships. And when we are friendly with each other, that will please Krishna. As Krishna himself said in the 4th canto of Bhagavatam, 8th shloka, 30th shloka, 8th chapter, 30th shloka, Krishna said, Varam vrinidhvam bhadrambo yuyam me nrapanandana sauhardena prathak dharma tushto ham sauhurdena va. He said, oh, Prachetas, all 10 of you have been chanting Rudra Gita for 10,000 years together. You are united with each other. So your unity, your friendship made me very happy. Tushtoham sauhrudenava. I am very satisfied with your friendly relationships. When we are friendly with other devotees, Krishna will be happy. If you want to make Krishna happy, we should not just do only our chanting, only our hearing, only our seva. We should also develop relationships with the devotees, good friendships with devotees. These are a few thoughts on spiritual friendships or spiritual relationships. Thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much. It's always great to hear Krishna Katha from you. And I think the word great doesn't even begin to describe how great it is. Prabhuji, you mentioned around the analogy of the fish out of water, right? It's never happy no matter what material things you give it. So why is it for us then, when we get material things, we feel happy, and Krishna consciousness doesn't always feel that happy at times, that we don't get that pleasure from Krishna consciousness, but then for material things, we get that pleasure?
Yeah. The answer is very obvious, because we have been associating with matter since time immemorial. We have been looking for sense gratification, sense enjoyment since hundreds and thousands and maybe millions of lifetimes. We find Krishna consciousness unnatural now. But at least by Prabhupada's grace and by the Acharya's grace, by Bhagavatam's grace, by Bhagavad Gita's grace, somehow at least we have developed a intellectual conviction that we need to seek pleasure in Krishna conscious activities and not in sense enjoyment, right? Intellectual conviction is there. But as far as implementation is concerned, we fail sometimes or many times. But we need to keep on fanning that spark of our own intellectual conviction that yes, in sense gratification, there is no perpetual, everlasting enjoyment or happiness. Real happiness and spiritual bliss is there only in Krishna conscious engagements. Therefore, I need to pull my mind and senses back from this materialistic things, and I need to focus more on spiritual activities. So that it begins with that understanding, that conviction that bhakti is the best. When somebody lacks that conviction, at least, even the conviction is not there, then mind will just go there. With full conviction, mind will pursue sense gratification. But at least we have that conviction. But because of the strength of the past habits, we are unable to give ourselves completely to this process. Although we are convinced, in the heart of our hearts, we want to do bhakti only. We don't want to do sense gratification. But because of previous impressions, we are just sometimes or many times just giving into it. That's the stage of sadhaka. A sadhaka is one who does that. If we have no distractions at all, if you are not getting distracted at all, you're completely focused in bhakti, we are not sadhakas, we are siddhas. Right? A sadhaka is one who has full faith in the instructions of Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas and Shastras and sadhus, and with full conviction he practices bhakti. And whenever he fails, whenever he gets distracted, then he feels guilty, repentant. And that repentance and genuine guilt, regret will purify us. And that will increase our commitment to the path. Then the distractions will become less. And as we continue the process of sadhana bhakti, the distraction will keep on going down and down and down. And attraction towards Krishna will go up and up. It may take few years or few decades or a couple of lifetimes also. Right? But as long as work is in progress, we are happy. If the work is paused or halted, then that's a problem. When will the work get paused or undone? When we do Vaishnava Aparadha. So yes, we should not get discouraged or demotivated when we are failing to practice bhakti or hear or chant, etc. We should continue with conviction. Let me continue. Okay, I failed yesterday. I was not attentive in my rounds. And today let me chant. Even if I increase like a point, not 1% of my attentiveness in my chanting today compared to yesterday, that's a success. So let's continue. It will take some time. Krishna's grace. Keep praying. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful class Prabhuji. That you mentioned Prabhuji to develop the qualities of the Krishna. While reading Bhagavatam, we will develop the qualities of Krishna. You said.
We will have attraction.
Attraction towards Krishna, and also Sukadeva Goswami also developed the qualities.
Developed attraction towards the qualities of Krishna.
Yeah, qualities of
Hare Guna Akshiptamatihi. His mind started meditating on Krishna's qualities. Of course, we have to develop qualities of Krishna also. But not all qualities. All qualities of Krishna we cannot develop. Amongst the 64 qualities of Krishna described by Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, some qualities we can imitate. Imitate, we have to imbibe. There are 64 qualities, last 4 only for Krishna. Up to 60 Vishnu, you know that calculation, right? So first 50 Jiva can develop to some degree.
For that, Prabhuji, like if we are all discussing, we are all practicing devotees only. Like Bhagavatam sitting and we have the limited knowledge only on that. And we know their faults and weaknesses and everything like that. Then how we can develop, like, how can we develop the respect towards them, Prabhuji? Like,
that's what we discussed. See them from a spiritual vision. When we discuss about Krishna with them, when we make our interactions spiritual by bringing in the element of Krishna katha in our interactions, then we will invoke their spiritual side. They have faults and we have faults. They have some good qualities, we also have some good qualities. They have some grain of devotion for Krishna, we also have some little devotion for Krishna. So we need to choose to focus on the good side or the spiritual side of devotees, and we have to do the needful in connection with the material side, right? So, but we should not hate them or neglect them or stay away from them seeing their negative side, unless there's a very, very serious incompatibility, right? So they have faults, we also have faults. If they see our faults and alienate us, boycott us, what will happen? We have no hope. Vaishnava Sangha is our hope. But Vaishnavas are just saying, this person has this fault. You cannot come close. You cannot come close. What will happen to us? How can we do that to others?
thank you.
So we should learn to see good in others. Yes, Matas.
Harekrishna Prabhuji, and very wonderful class. And you've given such a nice points for a congregation to imbibe and grow.
For everybody. For everyone, yeah.
You talked about disagreement and disrespect. So if someone is feeling disrespected, what should be his position and how he can?
If somebody is feeling
it.
disrespected,
So what he should be doing?
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadaharihi. Amanina manadena means we should not expect respect from others, but we should be giving respect to everyone. If we are expecting respect from others, we are far from Mahaprabhu's expectations. Right? What did Mahaprabhu say? Don't expect respect from anyone. Offer respect to everyone. Easier said than done, I understand. Right? But if we are reciting Sikshashtakam every day, and if we are failing in the third shloka itself, how will we go to the eighth shloka? Aslishava padartam pinashtamam. Krishna neglects us. What is eighth shloka? Krishna, even if you neglect me, even if you trample me under your feet, you are my prananatha. That is what the eighth shloka of Sikshashtakam says. How are we ready if we cannot tolerate even little disrespect from another devotee? Third shloka, if you fail, no point of no possibility of going to eighth shloka, right? So we should not expect respect from others. However, when we don't feel respected, when we don't feel valued, then it becomes a bit difficult to continue in that association. I'm now coming to the practical side. What I spoke is ideal, last 2-3 minutes. But on the practical side, when we don't feel respected, when others are dominating us, when others are suppressing us or oppressing us or sidelining us or disrespecting us, as I said, it becomes little difficult to be in that company. How to deal with this? There are multiple ways. One is internal reconciliation. Second is externally addressing. You internally reconcile the situation first. Maybe I must have disrespected someone in the past. Therefore, I am receiving this disrespect today. First point. Second point. Even Krishna was disrespected. Krishna was misunderstood. Krishna was criticized. Lord Ramachandra was criticized by that washerman. Krishna was criticized by his own Dwarka Vasis. Satrajit criticized. And Satrajit had spread rumors about Krishna. Right? And some Dwarkavasis started believing what Satrajit said. And they also started gossiping about Krishna. And when Krishna went with a peace message to Duryodhan, Hastinapur, Krishna was disrespected by Duryodhan. Duryodhan tried to bind Krishna, arrest Krishna. You understand? Did anyone try to bind us, arrest us? Any other Vaishnava? No, right? Compared to what extent of disrespect that Krishna received, what is our disrespect? What disrespect we are receiving? Insignificant, isn't it? So internally we need to reconcile like that. I must have disrespected someone in the past. I am receiving the same now. Second, even great souls in the past and even Krishna himself, Ram himself, they were misunderstood, disrespected, criticized, ridiculed, considered ordinary by so many people. And who am I in comparison to them? So that internal reconciliation we should have. And some people are not liking us. It's okay. Even Krishna is not liked by everyone. So, but externally, how to address the situation? Few tips. Very few. If somebody is disrespecting you, if you can tolerate, considering the first point, please go ahead. But if they cross certain limits, if they cross boundaries, and if they cross your boundaries of tolerance, you can always go and communicate with them. Is there any reason why are you behaving like this with me? Did I do something? Did I displease you in some way? So you can always ask them. If you can't ask them, maybe you can approach another devotee and reveal your heart in confidence, a mature devotee, not someone who is a gossip lover. So you go to another mature devotee and ask them to mediate between both of you and see if he can talk on your behalf and do something. Maybe other people may have some reason why they're behaving with you like that. They may have a strong reason. You must have said something or done something which is very painful to them. That's why they are kind of neglecting you or sidelining you or keeping distance away from you. So we need to understand all these perspectives, and you can communicate. But if there is no fault on your part and their disrespecting you is totally their fault, then take it as a purification. And if it's not affecting only you, if they're disrespectful towards another people, then those are leading the community, they will do the needful. Right? So those are in an authoritative position to take a disciplinary action, they will have to do the needful with them. And if you yourself are in that position, you can always correct them or give them feedback or punish them if required, depending on the extent of their offense. But don't hold any grudge. The purpose of a punishment should always be rectification, not rejection. We should seek their transformation, not destruction. Hare Krishna. We conclude one more question, Mataji. Because mic is in front, it's not going there. All the Mataji lifted hand first.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Wonderful lecture and great to have you back in Wellington. We hear your YouTube shows almost every day. It's so real to listen to you in real. So it feels like listening to a celebrity. Thank you so much. My question is, you mentioned about Achalam Bhakti, right? So in the present world of distractions and from practical perspective of we doing several things at the same time, how does the Achalam Bhakti look like for us? And how we should try to, and how should we endeavor to kind of follow that path? Is it possible at all?
Chala means moving, right? Achala means immovable, unshakable. Like no distraction, no deviation, no disturbance. Oh, very, very big thing, achala. You know what Arjuna said? Chinchalam himanaha Krishna pramati balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayo rivasudushkaram. My mind is chinchalam. You want achala bhakti? My mind is chinchalam. Totally opposite. Bhakti has to be achal, but here mind is chinchal. Total opposite. So Krishna said, Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalam asthiram tatastato niyam yaitad atmanyeva vasham nayet. So whenever the mind gets distracted, you make an attempt, sincere attempt to bring the mind back. That is Achala Bhakti for us. Right? Achala Bhakti by definition is Bhakti which is done with absolutely no distraction or deviation. That is Achala Bhakti. But for a sadhaka, a practitioner, Achala Bhakti is, or attentive Bhakti is, making an attempt to bring the mind back whenever the mind gets distracted from Bhakti. If mind is not at all getting distracted, we are a pure devotee. If the mind is getting distracted, we are a sadhaka. No. If the mind is getting distracted and if we are trying to control that mind and bring the mind back, then we are a sincere sadhaka. But if we are not making that attempt, we are insincere sadhaka. And the first step of cultivating sincerity is to realize that we are not sincere. Right? So, a realization of one's own insincerity is the first step of cultivating sincerity. And a sincere sadhaka is one who attempts, genuinely, sincerely attempts to bring the mind back whenever it gets distracted. When we are chanting, you chant 2-3 mantras. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. After 2-3 mantras, mind goes from Wellington to Auckland. State India, very good. And those are living in India, it comes to New Zealand. Right? So, mind is very fast, very chanchal. Then after 10 mantras, we realize, my God, 10 mantras, I have been thinking about some other country, some other city. Okay, I have to chant from 13th mantra, I have to chant very sincerely. From 13th to 18th mantra, you chant sincerely. Then 18th mantra, it goes beyond the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita and goes to different realms only. Then again in 34th mantra, you'll realize, oh, I'm chanting now. I'm chanting now. Let me chant now. Right? So, whenever the mind is going here and there, we should realize it immediately and bring it back. That attempt to bring it back is attentiveness for us at this moment. Right? If the mind is not at all getting distracted, we are pure devotees. That's amazing.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful explanation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare It's easier said than done. Even my mind is also getting heavily distracted while chanting, especially. I need the blessings to focus, to be attentive, to be sincere. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.